For all those who remember these guys. I mean, they are easily one of the biggest deathcore bands in the scene, but how did they get so big? How did they make their way to the top? That's what we're gonna discuss today. So my friend, as usual, take a cup of coffee, cigarette, cereals, whatever you feel like, as we explore the Die Hard is Murder Myspace era. So Die Hard is Murder was actually formed in 2006. They are an Australian band from Blacktown, Sydney, and this is where everything started. So first of all, CJ was not part of the band at first. It was Brendan Van Ryn. No clue if I'm pronouncing it right. I'm sorry if I don't. But yeah, anyway, I'm a huge fan of his vocals, for real. Especially his high-pitched vocals. I mean, not everyone knows, but on Infinite Death, he's the one who did the high-pitched, psycho, amazing vocals. So the guys wrote music for like a year until in 2007, they released their first demo called This Hole Isn't Deep Enough for the 12th of You. Okay, the name is weird, but believe me, the demo is awesome. So yeah, it's very raw, very brutal, everything you wanted at the time, and to be fair, even today, in my case. Damn, that's some heavy shit. But for real, I think it's pretty impressive that even with their first demo, they immediately found their sound, which is rare, as you maybe saw in my other videos, or if you followed some bands through their whole story, it's pretty rare that they're gonna find their sound in their demo. Usually they're looking for a sound. So yeah, not only did they release their demo all by themselves independently, but they also started touring by themselves, all the east coast of Australia, which is even more impressive. Sick performance, am I right? You know, keep in mind, they were 16. It's freaking amazing. I feel like I'm often repeating myself in my videos, but it makes sense, you know? I'm covering all those amazing bands with great stories, so yeah, I'm gonna react to it. So anyway, the tour was obviously a big success, and they actually got signed right after the tour by Skull and Bones Records, which is when they recorded Infinite Death. The entire mind, you're a psychopath! Man, man, this sound, those vocals, everything was perfect about it. To me, it's still one of the best freaking EP ever made. I mean, pure deathcore, pure brutality. The riffs are good. The vocals, which I think is very interesting. The vocals perfectly match the instrumentals, and I think the reason is they did all the instrumental and then he did his vocals on top of it. So I think he was like kind of matching the energy, which might sound obvious, but in certain cases it's the opposite. Some singers are, writing first and then they come up with a song, which is fine too. But you can hear on the album that Brendan was actually matching the tones and the vibe of the songs, and it's just perfect. As I was mentioning earlier, I think the high-pitched vocals are some of the best I've ever heard in my life. It sounds maniac, psycho, whatever you want to call it, but it's perfect. Anyway, I'm gonna stop because I could praise this EP for like hours. So we're just gonna move on. The biggest song was probably Whore to a Chainsaw. I know it was pretty vulgar and pretty controversial, but back then, if you remember, a lot of bands had, lyrics like that. They were even putting it on the shirt and people were wearing it. It was a different era, so keep that in mind. Of course, as I'm mentioning in every single videos I'm doing, they were blowing up on Myspace big time. The EP was such a success. It was, as I said, everything a deathcore fan was looking for. So after releasing the EP, they started, of course, playing it live, which was a success again. Until later, in 2008, the band officially announced that Brendan was kicked out of the band. And it wasn't very clear back then. I remember people were just wondering what happened. So I did my research, but keep in mind, I'm not 100% sure. It's after, reading on like Reddit, watching interviews and stuff like that. But from what I heard, he apparently wanted to keep the breakdown all the time type of deathcore, while the band were trying to move on to more of a technical death metal direction. Which for that, I can't really blame him, because I'm the type of like breakdown all the time. You might have noticed in my videos when I show performances, it's very often breakdowns. I'm assuming it, okay? They also said that he wasn't performing very well, his vocals, or at least, in the latest shows. And it was a big problem for the band. From what I've seen online, it looked good, but you have to be there to know those things. A video isn't really, fully showing you how it was. So I'm gonna believe them on that one. And the third reason would be is attitude problems. That's what CJ mentioned in interviews. Anyway, the important thing is he was kicked out. So after a year of trying to find a new vocalist, even when I was doing the research for the videos, I saw on their MySpace, they wrote for a long time, need vocalists or something. Anyway, and they finally found CJ, one of the best vocalists in the freaking scene. I think it's worth mentioning that when they found CJ, he was in a band called Vegas in Runes. Apparently, the band was very impressed with his low guttural vocals, which I completely understand. I mean, the guy is a beast, for real. But yeah, with CJ as their new vocalist, they went back in the studio to record the Adversary. Very good album, way more technical, which, as I was telling you, the band was trying to move in that direction. I have absolutely nothing negative to say on that album, except that in my case, I was missing a little bit of the psycho high-pitched vocals. But to be fair, CJ's vocals are so good, especially the lows, that I didn't really care that much. Amazing vocals. Anyway, they started promoting the album live, and let me tell you, CJ was an absolute beast. After playing shows for a while, they really wanted to do a big promotion for the album, and they went on tour with Deathcore Icon. And the Red Chord. So yeah, after touring for a while, their former guitar player and founder of the band actually quit, and they went through a lot of lineup changes until they finally came back with Reign of Darkness. Whoa, it was for real. I know I say that all the time, but this song is still to this day one of the biggest deathcore songs ever released. I mean, it's undeniable. They then released their new album, Hate, which scored 35 on the area chart, making them the first extreme metal band to ever break the top 40. I probably don't need to tell you how amazing it was live, but I'm still gonna show you. chills, man. For real, it was amazing. They signed to Nuclear Blast, which is a big company, and they were known worldwide. I mean, they played with Slayer in 2015. That's how big they were. But yeah, anyway, with all the success and all that, they toured for a long time until they secretly recorded during a winter, I believe, their new album, Holy War. Again, a very good album, technical wise, and like, it was just very good. Obviously, live, again, very well received by the fans. Until CJ finally announced that he was leaving the band. Don't remember what year it was, but people were devastated. He said that, he just had a kid and, personal reasons and all that, which is totally fine. But yeah, don't worry. In 2017, he came back. And while we're on the topic, I'm gonna mention that, in my opinion, CJ is a huge part of their success. His personality, the way he thinks, very well spoken, very likable.
The two major things on this record that I personally, aside from the rest of my band, feel extremely strongly for are like protecting children's rights and their innocence, and letting children grow as children, and not putting religion or politics or any of this bullshit into their fucking heads. And these poor children are uneducated by these uneducated parents that are being educated by an uneducated holy man that is reading a book and taking an interpretation of his own and spilling it out to thousands of people. Yeah. So these things are the things that I feel very passionate against. Like, take away the religion and political side of it. This record is talking about the children. They're like trying to protect them.
Not to mention that he's pretty funny also.
I'm really sorry I can't play for you tonight.
But yeah, anyway, they're still around today and they're still killing it. As a fan, I'm very grateful for everything they accomplish. Even with their old vocalist, I've always been a fan of Adversary Murder, and I know we are a lot of people in the deathcore community who, praise them as a band, and they deserve all the love, for real. Anyway, that's pretty much it, guys. I mean, they don't have this huge controversial story. They're just amazing as a band, and they did all the right moves and at the right time, and that's it. They didn't need to release like 1,000 demos and albums and stuff like that. And I'm not saying it's wrong to do that. Every band had their path and their ways, and it's all very respectable. But Adversary Murder is one of those bands that just did all the right moves at the right time, and it paid off. So as usual, if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe. It's the best thing. If you want to comment also, I love to get your opinions. It's a pleasure to do that. A lot more videos are coming. So yeah, I'll see you next time.